And the issue of economic hardship and its attendant impact on citizens is what we will start with on the program today. I'm being joined from our Abuja studios, two gentlemen, Bimbo Daramola, former member of the House of Reps and an APC member, as well as Dimeji Fabi, member of the Atiku, or now the former Atiku Presidential Campaign Council. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I understand that Bimbo will be joining us via Zoom. Let me take your reaction, Mr. Dimeji, on this particular development. What do you make of the situation going on in the country as far as the impacts of the economic policy of the federal government is concerned? We're seeing protests about hunger. It started in the north, now it's trickling down to the south.
Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Nigerians, and thank you for bringing me. First, I'd like to sympathize with Nigerians with the situation they have found themselves at this moment. It's a pity. Nigerians are really suffering, and you can see that in most of the reactions of the people. Nigerians have become desperate. You can always agree with me that the last 8 years, the 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration was not better. So they've been going through this same process, this same hardship, this same situation. They went through it 8 years, now is continuing with this government. My take is very simple. You come into a position of authority believing that you have what it takes to make necessary changes to fix the situation. So excuse should not be given to anybody in governance because you've lost that right, because you have come on board with the belief and that you've told people you can fix 1, 2, 3 that are germane to their being, to their welfare, to their lives. But unfortunately, what we are witnessing in Nigeria is quite pathetic. And then I feel pain because for me, nobody can do it alone. Regardless of what you went through during your campaign period, you have an opposition today, you have won. And if an opposition is part of governance, and if an opposition is coming out to say, why not consider this? I feel very, very disgusted. I feel irritated when I see the way Mr. President men are reacting to, objective, solutions and suggestions from the members of opposition, particularly the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. You can't take it away from him, his journey in governance and politics. He has been there. So when someone like that says something, what a responsible government would do would be to listen to him, to look at whatever suggestions or provision he has brought forward. But unfortunately, it's not like that. President administration of Buhari did the same thing. And that was why the issue of insecurity lasted for that long that it lasted. So again now, the economic situation is in bad shape. Nobody would agree with me. Even the members of the ruling government are complaining. But it's just that they cannot come out to say yes or to criticize their government. So that is the situation we have found ourselves in Nigeria today.
If I may butt in for a moment, but the government has said that the pain is short-term, that things are going to get better. Do you see what they are seeing?
Let me tell you this, I do not really share that, and I'll tell you why I don't share that. The last administration said the same thing, and we went through it for 8 years. And it was as a result of that this government inherited those backlogs, and we are still there. So like I said earlier, you should know before you come in, because some of us saw this at the twilight of that government. We knew the economy was heading for a ditch. And our belief was that anybody who is coming in should have realized, should have seen this and prepared very well for it. So you don't throw in policies that will not work, that will not address the immediate challenges of the people. So you can't blame people for saying they cannot be patient anymore because they've been patient enough. And we believe that when you are coming in, you have what it takes to fix it. Look at the FX regime. Is one of the biggest challenges we're having in this country. Yesterday, somebody was telling me that another tax burden is going to be placed on the aviation industry. How would that work? So rather than fixing the FX problem, you are imposing more taxes. How would that work?
All right, Mr. Fabi, I need to get the input of, my apologies, but I need to get the input of Mr. Daramola, who is joining us via Zoom, is a former member of the House and as well as an APC member. Thank you so much for coming on the program. You heard Mr. Fabi saying that it appears your party was not prepared. And these were the same excuses or call for patience that preceded the Buhari administration or at the beginning of the Buhari administration, and how things ended that we know. And this has started again. So it appears not to trust this call for patience.
Well, good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
All right, very well. Good morning. Let me say to you that, yes, these are very challenging times. And I'm not going to beg the issue. Hunger, insecurity, and all of these things that people have alluded to cannot but be spotlighted at a time like this. Let me make it abundantly clear to you that hunger does not respect tribe. It doesn't respect social status. It doesn't respect complexion. It doesn't respect anything else. What hunger will respond to and respect is to have something in your stomach. So that Nigerians are emptying into the streets, particularly the ones that are very sincere, and not the ones that are politically motivated. They have legitimate, super legitimate cause for worry. But let me say to Nigerians that whoever would take a very, very generous look at global economies and economy today, you will see that virtually all major economies in the world today are taking the heat. Yes, Nigerians don't want us to do this comparative analysis, but it is clear that there's an integrated global economy, that Nigeria functions in the matrix of that. We have our local peculiarities, and that is why a job has been given to this president. But let me say this to you, my brother. No matter how proficient, no matter who you are, there's no magic wand to solve this problem. There's no magic wand. Number two is the fact that I've heard somebody say somewhere, or I read it somewhere where somebody alluded to the fact that, oh, Asiwaju wanted the job, now he's got the job, and all of that. Regardless of who may have gotten the job, nobody will have come to this job with a magic wand. Nobody could have. In the light of the realities, even on my page today, on my page on Facebook today, I posted something there. I couldn't have been able to say, or couldn't have imagined for all of my life, that all of these malfeasance that we've seen, that we saw, that practically defined the Buhari administration, could have happened in this country. And you're not thinking that there will be consequences? So there will be consequences. The choices that we make would determine the consequences that trails those choices. Today, we are seeing stagflation, runaway inflation, and all of those things. We must also, I did geology in school, I'm a geologist, and there's a reason for studying fossils. It's called paleontology. When you study fossils, you want to be able to use the past to predict the present, to understand the present, and predict the future. In local terms here, what we should be talking about now is what BE has said. Let's get into that room, and I strongly would advise. President Obasanjo did the same thing when we came into power in 1999. Listen, we have just one country, and we have a national to take care of. Whoever has any solution that will...
Land on your thoughts. Land on your thoughts, sir.
Whoever has any solution that could take us out of this quagmire will be welcome. I am aware that Vice President Atiku Abubakar had brought things to the table, and a number of people had also made suggestions. But I can tell you, my brother, no matter the suggestion at this time, there is no quick fix. And let me quickly say something to you. If you know, I know Vice President Atiku Abubakar extremely well, and I know Asiwaju Bola Ahmed, President, very well. I am not too sure that anybody who knows Asiwaju will say that Asiwaju can run government from the blueprint of IMF, not the Asiwaju that I know.
So do you think
and I'm not taking the issue. I have known Asiwaju for 28 years. And I know he's so strong-willed enough. I am too sure that everybody knows Asiwaju as a headhunter. This economy and the way things are turning must be a clear embarrassment to him, granted the capacity that we know him. However,
Mr. Daramola, if I may butt in because of time.
Hold on a second. What I'm now saying today is that we need to get together now, and the president needs to get together, look at the fact that, one, Nigerian economy is also in the global economy. So whatever hit that the UK economy, the American economy gets, will trickle down to ours. There are 3 or 4 things that are worrying us today, that are major issues today. 1, the dollar falling, having a free fall. 2, hunger. And 3, insecurity. And all of them are interrelated. One cannot fix one and leave the other. So I have my own postulations about what may be ways.
All right, Mr. Daramola, let me get back to Mr. Fabi. I wanted to ask you a question, a follow-up question, but because of time, let me get back to Mr. Fabi. Mr. Fabi, let me come back to you. He's made propositions. I don't know what your response are to this, some of the things he said before I throw in my question. I just wanted you to react to some of the things he said.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I quite agree with Honorable Daramola, to some extent. But the fact remains that our economic solution, I'm talking economically now, our economic solution does not lie in borrowing funds, in going to look for solution abroad. What we need is homegrown economic solution, and these things are possible. You can't generate FX if you don't produce and export. It's a simple mathematics. And I don't think that should be too difficult for the current leadership to know. What you need, what they should have done would have been to concentrate on things that will shore up economy within the country. It's possible. So for me, the issue of insecurity, when you have insecurity, there's no how your economy can succeed or can excel. So you fix the economy. If at the same time, you can look inward and think outside the box and put all of these things together. So
Gentlemen,
I agree with him. But my take is that, and this is an advice to the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a lot of people have hopes on him, and he won't have any excuse because he controls the National Assembly, he has the security, he has judiciary, he has everybody at his beck and call. Nobody will excuse him. So his government should not be too arrogant to seek help when one is needed. For the sake of Nigeria.
I think that's where the consensus is from both of you, gentlemen.
I'm in Europe, I will not pity him, and I'll tell him the truth.
All right,
so
gentlemen.
what matters most is that his government should not be arrogant.
All right,
they should
gentlemen.
seek help and there are people who are ready to help.
All right, Mr. Fabi, thank you so much for your thoughts.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we're totally out of time. I must thank you, Mr. Bimbo Daramola, former House of Reps member and an APC member. I think I have to bring you back for us to have more of this conversation, as well as Mr. Dimeji Fabi, a former spokesperson for the Presidential Council, because there's a lot to talk about. At the end of the day, we want a country that works. However it works is what is important to us. I want to thank you both, gentlemen, for coming on the program. We're going to have an extensive conversation on this later on. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. All right, then.
Well, we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll switch gears now to some of the developments in the Edo State politics, especially that has to do with both the APC and the Labour Party. Join us again.